I guess I'll start out. My name is Sean Williams. I own a barbershop right down the street called The Whip. Actually, I was in the military for 6 years. I was over in Germany for 3.5 years and at Fort Bragg, North Carolina for 2.5 years. I went to Urbana High School. I've been born and raised here practically all my life. And I grew up a lot, spent a lot of my time right here in Douglas Center Park. So when I got back to Champaign, I didn't see the park as active as it used to be. We used to play and we used to watch movies and we have a softball game going and guys would be on the basketball court, you know, and it was just a lot of activities going on. When I got back, it was none of that. So I don't know what happened between that time frame that I left. I spent a little time in California and LA doing hair, spent a little time in Atlanta. So it was about a 10-year span that I was missing here. So I really didn't know what was going on and get it going. So we started the tournament out. I was bringing, actually, it's been going for 14 years. I started out, I was bringing guys from Danville, Decatur, Peoria, Springfield, Kankakee, bringing different groups of young guys together so they can kind of meet and interact. And it started going really well. We started picking up a lot of people, a lot of guys like the Bryans and the Franks and Darren and Dee and all those guys. They have been participating with me for years because they come get haircuts from me. So this past year, we were getting our program together. Well, let's go back. Champaign-Urbana Days originated from Lake of the Woods in Muhammad. Started over 30-some years ago. As a kid, we would go out there and families would just share food and that type of thing. You know, and people had their family reunions out there. Everybody planned their family reunions there. So they said, hey, let's bring it back home. Let's bring it to Champaign. So they started bringing it to Champaign, back right here in the hood in Douglas Center Park. The Iotas group, you guys probably know the Iotas well. They used to sponsor this here, but the Park District took it over. And the Park District made it seem like, hey, Sean, let's add your basketball tournament to Champaign-Urbana Day, and we're gonna help you guys make it bigger and better. Well, being on a tight budget, I said, hey, look, they're gonna be able to enhance the program. Well, probably about 3 years ago, they started coming up with a lot of little niches. Hey, your insurance policy isn't right or something like that. So they said, hey, you will cover you under our insurance. And it was in order to get control of the tournament. They see how they could expand and get bigger. So they cut Champaign-Urbana Day 3 years ago down from 3 days to 2 days. It used to be a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday being a team dance, Saturday being the basketball tournament, all the festivities, and Saturday being a gospel fest. Sunday being a gospel fest. And as you can see, you can probably see 4 or 5 local churches right here in the area that it would benefit. So they changed the program up on us. Then they went down to 2 days, and then we ended up with 1 day, and I ended up with 1 day for a tournament. And it was pretty hard to do with just 8 hours. And we got guys coming from, we got 10 guys per team. We were only charging $50 bucks per team, so it was $5 per guy. So it was real affordable, and guys really liked it, even coming out, some of the old timers that used to play ball, they'd be able to come out and showcase their talent. And a lot of people can't make it to high school games, so we had high school guys out here playing. So what happened this year, 3 weeks into it, getting prepared for this year, and this year I brought in Victor Chukwubaby, a lot of ex-players that haven't made it to the NBA and stuff like that. Those guys were really organized because they're more inclined about basketball than I am. So I brought those guys in. They were getting ready for it, and the Park District came and said, "Hey, we don't want that program anymore." And I kind of found out from Linda suddenly one morning. So I walked over and I talked to the director of Douglas Center, and what I found out is that this guy, he's from St. Louis, and we have had different directors of different programs within our community from other places. And I don't know if the passion is in there like somebody from at home.
Yeah.
So I talked to him, and I started telling him, hey, we've been preparing for this. I talked to you early part of the year, da-da-da-da-da. So he said, hey, we're just not going to have the program anymore. We're going to go into a different direction. We're going to go to a more traditional Champaign-Urbana Day. So, okay, I'm not the one to argue with a program. What I did is I did what you guys doing. I did a documentary on what their program was. So we had their program this second Saturday in August. So we just had their program. What they did is they set up some horses over here. They came up with a program for us instead of letting the community come up with a program for itself.
Right.
So what they put horses over here. Oh, we had a bluegrass band on the stage. Linda's program was set up back in the corner. like Aaron said, the showmobile for years. I mean, I'm 38, so I've been coming out to this park for many years. The showmobile always sat there. I used to stay on Beardsley Street. I could look out my window in 1975 when they put those wooden pieces in for us to sit there with movies and that and the other. So this year, they took all the goals down to make sure that we didn't try to put any program together.
Say that, Party. They took the rims, off
down
of the basketball at the park. They took them so people, if they wanted to come out at the park and play basketball, I mean, that part blew me away. I had to ask you to say that. They took the rims down.
Yeah, they took the rims down. And that was part of that's one of the most things that we as a black community had to come do every day after we got out of school, after you finish your homework or whatever the case might be. So they took the rims down. They put the showmobile probably in this direction, facing back out this direction. So you really couldn't see Linda because they wouldn't let Linda be in the park neither. So they set her program up over there. She had to get a permit and stuff from there, but I'll let her tell you more about it. But you really couldn't see her back there.
They put the showmobile on the court?
On the court. So you really couldn't even see back that direction. And I felt like that it was a slap in the face to me. So I just kind of let them have it. I did a documentary. I came out here and I videotaped and I talked to different people within the community. How do you like the program this year? And I say 98% of them said they hated it. It wasn't something that they seen in the past, you know. I mean, if we're gonna get traditional, as a kid, okay, I went to a board meeting about it over at the Breslin, in the main building for the park district. And it was a panel, it was a kind of diverse panel. And so I talked to them and I wanted to know just why did you do that? And without getting with me before 3 weeks. And they said that they let Joe Duluth, which is in charge of all the directors of the park, they let him talk. And Joe said, well, we're gonna get back to a more traditional Champaign-Urbana Day. Okay, so I went home and I thought about that and I was like, as a kid sitting on the back of an old Pontiac station wagon, I never seen that white guy out there. You know what I'm saying? So how's he gonna tell me about a more traditional Champaign-Urbana Day when you wasn't there? You know, and if they're gonna get back to it, this year they had more vendorship than we ever seen before. It was more vendors out here than participation. So we had places like Sprint and all those guys out here. And so what I said is that instead of, if we're gonna get back to a more traditional Champaign-Urbana Day, why not give food away? Don't sell rib tips for $5.50, $6. You know, sell a Pepsi for $2. Why don't you just? I mean, they said they spend $30,000 on Champaign-Urbana Day. I couldn't see $3,000. You know, that's what they said they spend in the past. They spent $30,000, so I couldn't see $3,000 being spent. So I mean, maybe I'm giving you too much. You don't know how limited your time is, but I was really hurt, really. You know what I'm saying? All the time that we put into it, 14, you know, because I own a barbershop. Fridays and Saturdays my main day, you know, but I spent a lot of Fridays and Saturdays in this tournament, putting this together, and I wish they would have worked with me. Me and Linda, we thought about moving it, and you know, but somebody told us we should grab back what was already ours, and I think that's more what I want to do. So I put that documentary together. It's going to be aired on UPN for the month of September, so you guys will be able to see it. And it's called Champaign-Urbana Day 07.